All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have your watch list coming into May 14th, 2019, and I really hope you guys are ready. We had almost 4% down day today, and the key is this 280 support level. Now, we're going to have to take this back all the way to October. The bears are coming out. There's a lot to talk about, so I have the plays I want to go over, the options, the specific companies to watch, as well as now my good old Google document thinking, tomorrow is going to be interesting on how it opens, and then we need to talk about the trade war, what happened, the development, and what we're waiting for. So that's what's going to be encompassing all of this video, so I hope you guys are ready. You know what to do. Drop the like, but more importantly, my friends, you need to post your watch list below. We're going to go over that in the morning, pre-market. We're streaming live, you guys, 30 minutes before open. It is in the comments in the description below, but let us talk about this now. So I'm already here on the SPY. This level is crucial, the 280. Now, we were talking about this a lot on the stream. Really, even it did the dance. This is what I call it. I call it the dance here, and it was bouncing right there at 280. It held, and I was waiting for this bounce to kind of come get in here. Trump was talking today. Really, he said stuff about China, and we'll talk about those developments. But as far as tomorrow goes, this is what I'm looking for. So we need to talk about one hand in the cookie jar. This is the strategy to play the options and even playing in this volatile environment. But that even tells me I'm going to go with the options specifically, guys. I'm going to go over the SPY puts. I bought 50 SPY puts if you guys saw that. I bought a bunch of UVXY. I want to show you guys how to go on the spreads on those and how to get the best put. And again, this is where this concept is even coming, though, because you have to play smart. A lot of these contracts, especially when the volatility picks up, if you start to try to play stuff on the option chain when the market is already dropping, that stuff is going to be expensive. So you really need to limit your guys' risk, play small. That's what I've been doing, keeping one hand in the cookie jar at all time, because there is a few scenarios. So you guys know what I like to talk about with these, but what I'm thinking is the market could sell off slow and steady, but big. That is what happened today. Today was we were down 500 points, but we were down 700 points. We were down 600 points longer than we were above that point. So it was slow and steady. It was big, and a lot of it came from the gap up. If you think about it, we really only moved 200 or so points, but we sustained the gap down. Excuse me, I said gap up. So watch out for that, because I'm thinking we could get something like that. And again, the gap, if we have a gapping move up or down, that is going to be important for tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. But what I'm going to be looking for, mainly if we don't get this, I don't want this market sell off slow and steady. That's where the one hand in the cookie jar comes in. And why I say this, because the options are going to be expensive. A gap down or a big move down is going to make the puts even more expensive. But since it's not bouncing big enough, they're going to remain expensive and hold that IV. And sometimes, too, they're not going to start declining till the end of the week. It could really get you set up for some bad options. So I don't want that. And I already have a hand in the cookie jar, and this is what I mean. You could hold a position, you play in small. It's really about keeping smaller positions in there so you could play the move if it gets worse, but that's not really going to be the big profit opportunity, at least for me and how I'm setting up for this. So there's that, but I'm also going to look for mainly tomorrow a gap below the support, and if it doesn't happen tomorrow, or it could happen the next day, but really I don't think we're going to, if the 280 holds up, I don't think we're going to see a break during the day. I think it's just going to end up below 280 on a gap and then rally up. And I said there, it looks like last Monday, if you guys remember, it was kind of the same thing with the 290 support, or with like the 288, 290. And it kind of just gapped down below it, and then it rallied up. So I'd expect to see, that's what I'm kind of looking for mainly tomorrow, but I want to see how it handles that support level, or really this, again, like I'm saying, 280 is where a lot of stuff, even for, let's go back, 2 years on the chart, you could see right here, 280 is a point every single time. Even since the January, that February volatility influx, every single time 280 it has posed a really crucial level, as you see here. It's kind of like you draw the line here. It kind of looks like some devil horns. I don't know what you want to call it, Illuminati. I don't know, TTF, Coke. But be careful with it, and that could cause some big moves. So make sure you guys are there. And because I was going to say, make sure you have the stream alerts. So if you listen this far, you win, baby. We are giving away stream alerts. All you have to do is comment below here. What I'm going to do is this. I figured out how to do the giveaways perfectly. Comment below, and I'm going to ask a question that either something from the watch list or something that happened on the stream anytime. comment here. I'm going to pick a random name, and I'm going to pick somebody. Once I pick that person, I'm going to ask you a trivia question. If you get the answer correct, that's it. If you don't get it right, we move on to the next person. Simple as that. So I'm giving away Stream Alerts, 1 free month of that, as well as a free real estate course. So make sure you comment your watch list below and pay attention. But that is my main key as far as the markets go and what I'm going to be looking for. So before we get into the options and that option analysis, let's talk about the main plays. I like Qualcomm, and I like it actually, believe it or not, for strength. I got some June calls. However, if the chip makers go down, that is another key industry to watch. If you guys saw Apple today, it moved down big, and we've made that play. But you guys have to watch how Apple is going to play out, because Apple and Qualcomm are going to have interactions, but this is pointing at the chip makers. I like Micron as well, too. I got some puts on them. I'm going to keep watch for them because I think they haven't got as much attention, and they could start slipping here. I'm not going to be playing AMD. There's them, and then even watch Amazon. Even you guys, we had the earnings, the Buffett hype, all that stuff, but watch how it's holding. It's kind of starting to give out. I sold some of my puts today, but that could be a good extrinsic value play, and that is actually going to be an extrinsic value one I'm going to be looking at. So there's those. And I forgot, actually. Wait. Shout out my mama, man. Shout out to people who said I wouldn't make it. We're coming back on this Apple position. So I have some of these Apple puts. I realized about $800-900 in profit on half of these, or just under half. So that's going to be another play. But again, I'm saying watch Apple, but the options are going to be expensive. I was supposed to get into that when we do the options. I just wanted to flex a little bit there. But moving on from those, watch Roku. We played this in the morning. We got calls. We went up on it 150%. I was going to sell off and it came down, but Roku's holding pretty good. It's finally starting to come down. I'd watch if it comes around 74, back down to that 70 level. However, watch upgrades and downgrades. They're doing good after the earnings. It looks like it really, really wanted to go. I think it's getting pulled down by the market. So if it does show a sign of strength, I am going to be aiming for these guys at any moment they really start to show strength relative to the market. So I like those. There's Boeing. I sold out of one set of puts. The puts, even out of the money on June, the ones with time, they're getting really inflated. So I'd watch out for that. But Boeing is shockingly at 336. So I don't think a lot of people expected this. Isn't it funny, you guys? All the drama fades and persists. And it's slowly, right when there's no news, a lot of you guys, were reacting on the news. It was holding. Once everybody forgets, that's the digestion. Honestly, it kind of looks like a GI tract if you think about it. Just take a, but I won't take it too far there. But watch Boeing. I like that. I'm in one play. Watch Walmart and the value stocks. Obviously, they're starting to slip. The puts are actually surprisingly cheaper than Walmart, as well as, well, not Disney. I'm going to like Disney. Walmart. McDonald's is expensive on the calls. I'd be careful. I'm not going to be playing puts on it. As you see, Walmart looks like it's doing, or McDonald's looks like it's doing the opposite. The SPY and everything looks like it's about to go down. Walmart looks like it's about to break out. So I'm going to be looking to get calls on Walmart, if any, or McDonald's, excuse me. I keep saying that, but I want the calls on McDonald's because even if it does drop, I don't think it's going to drop a lot. If the market really does sell off, it will come down, but I'm going to be aiming calls. But watch them, and also watch how they stack up against the market. We are even going to get retail sales, because I was going to say, watch those value stocks, watch retail, but also watch now the banks. We got Wells Fargo puts today. They were actually the leaders, so I went after them because Wells Fargo it kind of reminds me of Boeing, honestly. They've had some bad news, a lot of bad stuff happening. It held up there, but now it's kind of creeping down there, but it's doing the best out of the banks. But I'm going to watch them for tomorrow. I don't really like them, but back here now, Disney, that's going to be a good one. I like the June puts. That's going to even lead us into the options, but these are the main plays there. There is plays like IBM and 3M that I want to watch as well, some of the bigger components in Intel, but they've moved so much. That and Coca-Cola as well, too, even on the June options. We'll bring those up on the options here, but that's what I'm going to be watching. Let me know what you guys are keeping an eye out for, and keep your eye out for oil at the same time. That made moves, but the Chinese yuan. So this is what we were watching, and I made that video. If you guys didn't check it out, we were talking about the trade war and how things could escalate. I posted it a day or two ago. It has a lot of views. I think a lot of people, I was really surprised. People said it was good info. I thought it was kind of stuff that I would, it's stuff I've been aware of, but it could really explain what's happening here. But why I say that is because it's related to 2015. So this was a 6% or 7% move in weakening. We're about like 3%. But watch here, because now this relates to China. That is going to confirm or deny really any news, because as this goes up and weakens, that is not good, and that's going to show a negative response on the S&P and even a positive response for Bitcoin. But putting this all into perspective now, coming before I get to the options, I'm going to be watching these plays and even looking for exposure. There is plays like Caterpillar and Home Depot and stuff like that, but really the hard part is finding the good priced options. I'm liking the indexes. That's why I'm going to show you how to play the S&P, the SPY, the UVXYs. But what you want to pay attention for is how this is developing, and to keep your eyes on what news is going to affect it, or is it just going to be normal digestion, and watching when volatility is picking up and when it's declining and not moving, so you guys don't get trapped. But ultimately, you guys get time, play small with what we were saying with the keep the hand in the cookie jar. But now what happened today, Donald Trump came up. He said that China hasn't retaliated yet. He said that in the meeting, but China already announced they did. So China's already retaliating. The market is really even just digesting over what happened on the weekend. As days and days went on, China put those demands. We talked about that in the watch list yesterday. At the end of the day, what they were saying, putting this all together, it's just not looking good for the trade deal. And people are like, oh, does this mean no deal? No, they're going to say they're going to be negotiating for years. This has already been going on for 2 years. And now it's a stalemate, and it's a time for you wait and you let it kill them. They're going to try to play chicken with each other. Donald Trump's going to try to come back in a few months after they're paying billions and billions of dollars. And then he's going to say, do you guys want to negotiate? Here are the terms. No? Okay, give it 6 more months. That's why I'm saying watch out for the weakening and stuff like that. But watch out for how the market bounces and reacts. It's getting smaller pops off of those news events, but I'm going to use those to take advantage of plays. But then watch out, because when we do get a big bounce, you got to kind of know when to react. So we're going to keep our eyes out for that. Make sure you're on stream. But let's talk about the options now. Okay, so I'm about to put you guys on game. Pay attention right now. UVXY, I like this play. It's great. But you guys need to know how to play the options. Why? Because it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. These spreads are insane. And now the issue is, when you start going really far out the money, it gets really, really wacky. And a lot of you guys with no experience, you're going to buy an option down here, and you could have got this option for the same price. So be smart with that. I'm going to use the weekly because for literally crappy value sake, because you have to understand, unless there is a total market collapse or flash crash, anything too high out of here isn't really going to hit by the end of the week. But then again, UVXY is crazy. But I want to show you how to place your orders now, because when I say, hey, I'm going for a small one, this is the exact point I want to highlight. Take a look here. This one, let's say, and again, the market's closed, so there'll be the lack of liquidity, but this is what some people will do. The ask is 64 cents for a 60 strike, and I'm like, okay, I have 60 cents, but then so is this one. So this one has no bid, but then this one's only 10 cents more at 70. What was pretty much I'm trying to tell you, go for what the last trade was to get an idea of what you're going to pay, because a lot of times now, what I'm trying to tell you, and even then before you go here, so if this one's like, if you're going to end up max paying 60 here, try putting a bid here at 60, or go up to the option that doesn't have the bid of what you want to pay. So if you're going to pay 60 on the ask, find the one with the bid there that doesn't say 60 and see what you could get there, and then go one by one lower before taking that one, because these are really illiquid. So that's what I'm telling you guys, be careful. But that being said, illiquid and you don't know how to trade it, it's a dangerous recipe, so be cautious. But I'm letting you guys know that, so you at least don't go crazy far at the money, and at least try to get closer to the money. That is the only way you're going to profit on these. So watch that now. And now the same thing goes for the SPY puts. So I bought 50 of these. I've been talking about it. These are some of my volatility plays. If you guys saw, this was even a keep the hand in the cookie jar play. I bought it last week. I bought 50 of them, or about 100 of them total. They went up like 200-300%. I sold out, got my initial investment back and some profit, and I let 20 or so sit there, and then I bought back even more different strikes today. But I want to show you these ones that are really, really cheap. These are super far at the money. You need to have time on them, but you're not trying to get in the money on these. You're benefiting off the extrinsic value. But this is what I tell you guys to be careful for, because now look here. These all have the same asks and strikes. So you have 3 options here, all with the same bid and ask. Why would you get any of these ones? So that's where I'm saying you guys have to be careful for, because some of you will get here, and then once volatility picks up, you see how all of these are exactly the same. It'll start getting jacked up. So be careful. What I'm telling you guys is pay attention to the last trade. don't try to get these too early, because if you do, the prices get jacked up, but they could come down a lot. That's the best part about them. So don't get too hyped on them. Like if you even see here, they went from what? Then this is what I'm saying. These were some of the ones that I got, getting 50, 100 of them. You could buy $500 here. They go up there. It turns into what? Like $1,500, and then it comes back down. So again, it's now at 7 cents, but if you want it, there's the bid. So it moved here today. Those could move a lot, but be careful. These are the ones I'm talking about for the second wave. You want to try to get closer to the money on these. Wait till they come down cheaper, but you could buy big quantities, but the whole aspect is to flip them and let them get volatility, but you need time. So if more time starts going by and this week's slow, again, these aren't always going to be the play. I'm going to start trying to get protection out to July, but you have to wait till stuff gets cheap. But again, go for the one nearest now. That's what I'm saying. I have to make that clear. If you see, these are all 4, try to find the one that is going for 4 here, and this one might be there, and then use the bid and ask trick if you guys have seen that video. So those are those ones now. Now let me talk about some specific options. I like EA. So EA is good because they're dropping, I think Take-Two or Activision, one of them reported, or they're going to be there in the morning. They were all over the place after hours. But, EA's dropping after their earnings. But I've noticed some of the weekly contracts, but even coming out to the next week contracts, they're pretty cheap. And what I mean by that is when you get really further out the money, these contracts had a lot higher implied volatility. So you can't even see, these don't even have charts on them. This one will. Yeah. So what I'm trying to show you, here's the 20-day. What I'm saying is after the earnings, they were holding a lot higher. Even then, they're kind of coming back up, but these options were pretty high, especially when you get further out the money. But if you see any bounce tomorrow, watch there. So usually I don't like EA, so that could be decent, and even going on the other side of the call. But if EA takes a move and some of those other gaming stocks have an effect, I want to take a look at those. The next one is going to be Sprint. So we played these today. There was that weekly play. I got these ones. I got these this week's. I got, I think it was the 650s. I got these, and they went up at 15 cents or 17 cents. I think I got 20 or 50 of these for like 2 cents a pop. So I got them very, very cheap. The last trade went through at 9 G's. Someone's psychotic. I don't know if it sold. Did it sell my last 5? I think I put in an order to sell half, so we'll take a look. But I'm going to be watching those. They moved up. They've been, deal and merger news or something about, I'm not really sure with it, but that volume in general coming through there, and it has had some moves. The options are pretty cheap, surprisingly, on the weekly. I haven't checked with time, and I have to be careful here because I've caught myself getting some weeklies, but my Junes, if you guys saw those apples I put up on the watch list yesterday, those I closed out of those today for like I think I sold them for 160. Remember, we bought them at 20 cents, but those are going to be the plays, and then Disney. And now these are the plays I really like, and then I'm also holding GM puts, but these are ones I'm going to be getting tomorrow, depending on the price, because any out of the money Disney here is either the 120s or the 150s on June. I want to look at July, but these ones, they went up. It says they went up 100%, but they were a lot cheaper here today. Which one was it? Yeah. I think are the 120s, but pretty much they're holding the price from a few days ago. So even with all this volatility, again, it's kind of like the same situation that I showed you guys with that first play with EA holding the implied volatility from the earnings. So I like the Disney as well. Those are good. And then GM, I'm going to be looking for the autos and what's going on with China. But that is pretty much it, my friends. Hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully you are prepared and ready, and you better be on the stream in the morning. Let's go. Post your watch list.